No, it's early, but I want to get a show in, and if I don't, then I'm going to miss it again. I don't want to do that. It's been very busy, and I'm a little frazzled, but got a lot of sun. Uh, Beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio. Even got to jump into my pool for like the second time since I've been here, but the first time where it was nice and heated and nice and comfy, and I got to do some stretching and all kinds of nice things. I wanted to get this early because I got to take Rocks out to dinner, and if I wait until 7 o'clock to finish a program, it's going to be a while before we're going to be able to get out of here and get to where we're going. I did have some things that I wanted to talk about, seeing as how I've had the opportunity to watch some of the summer league games for the Cavs, and I know summer league games don't mean squat. So I want to, this is fan talk where we talk about our feelings, not like Dr. Phil, but our feelings about what might be the case and what we're seeing from certain players. And everybody wanted to see Imani Bates, and I get it. You saw Sam Merrill a little bit, and Craig Porter Jr., who has really come along, and he's one I want to focus on first. Craig Porter Jr. played at Wichita State and was a guy who really flew under the radar. Hi, how you doing? Um, and the as a player is concerned, he's 6'2", so he's kind of small for a point guard slash off guard. But he jumps. He's got a 40.5 vertical. He can play some defense. He was a glue guy for Wichita State who did a little bit of everything. He scored the basketball, he assisted, he rebounded, he defended, makes him kind of an all-around guy. And a lot of times players who have a lot of motor and a lot of drive get more out of their careers than other types of players who are hyped a little bit more. And the feeling that I get about Craig Porter Jr. is that he's not ready for prime time, but he may be thrust into a situation where he gets time on the floor if Ricky Rubio doesn't heal up. We need a backup point, and he could be in the mix. He doesn't seem to do things that hurt himself. He's not a turnover machine. Hi, Rick. How you doing? No, I'm just jumping the gun. That's all on me. He's improved his shooting each year he was at Wichita State. A lot of times, guys who come out as point guards, end up with the reputation that they can assist the ball, they have speed, they have burst or whatever, but they're not really very good shooters. This guy was shooting 36% from three in college and has been working hard on his game. A lot of teams looked at him. Nobody took him real seriously. When the Cavaliers saw that he was still available, they jumped on him. Undrafted. And a lot of players who have that situation can play with a chip on their shoulder. But he's going to get an opportunity in Cleveland because when you take the rotation that we've had, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, it seems that we can't pile minutes on these people. And let's bring Bronk in here. Hey, Broncola, how are you?
Oh, it's nice and early tonight. It's almost light outside.
I inadvertently did you a favor. Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
But with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, the problem is minutes played and are they on the court together? We lacked any offensive punch, from the backup point position. So one or the other had to be in, which really took away the potential prowess of having both of those players on the floor simultaneously, especially at crunch time, because of excessive minutes played. And it really made the team suspect as the season wore on. Those minutes wore on young players, and you saw that the Cavaliers kind of disappeared by the end of the season, losing a series they should never have lost. I point to a couple of things as being the reason, besides Jared Allen's incredibly poor performance and basically appearing not to try in the series against the Knicks. It goes deeper. The depth issue became really, I mean, the Jetty Osmonds and the Lamar Stevenson, that group of players couldn't carry the team when other players were off the floor. So now, we're not watching the summer league to see the guys we got like Max Strus. We're not seeing players like that. We're not seeing Niang. We're going to see them soon enough. But this is more for what we call the two-way players. But which one of the two-way players really has the best chance of sticking for longer periods of time? And I think it's Craig Porter Jr., just because of the need at the position. And he has had a winning tradition that wherever he's played, they win. And there are some guys who are like that. It's a big step, a real big step for a player to go from where Craig Porter Jr. was into a situation where they're going to make a contribution at the NBA level. At this point, this is his stepping stone and opportunity to get to a point where he gets time on the floor. And I think he's with the right organization for that to happen. The more publicized guy is the guy we chose at number 49, Emoni Bates. And Bates, to be very honest with you, is not ready for very much. And it's interesting because, I'm looking at an article here about, the fact that he had a game where he scored 21 points. Bates did. He's not at all an assist player, so he doesn't share the basketball. He does have quicks. He does have separation, the ability to separate on a fadeaway shot. He does not have the strength to finish at the basket. And there's one thing that I focused in on watching him. I mean, one game he was 5 of 12, one he was 5 of 18. And watching what the problem is really a mechanical issue with him. This is a player who is never going to be a big time defensive player. And I think the Cavaliers know that when they drafted him at 49. They're hoping for a long wing who can score the basketball. Nobody will mistake him for being a defensive presence on the floor. The thing about him is that when he tries to get into position for the fadeaway, I'm seeing 2 or 3 different releases on his shot. It gets a little wristy, and I don't like that. I don't like that. That's just one thing. I just don't like it all. I mean, the release should be consistent. Andy Rooney,
gentlemen.
He's and here's Hammer Time. Hey, Hammer Time. How you doing?
So is this an early show? Early show so you can get out that golden Buckeye card and get some early specials.
No, this is not no. This is not eating dinner at 5 o'clock and going to bed at 9 o'clock and getting up at 6 o'clock. No. But I'll tell you one thing. I've got to drive to get to some places if we're going to try out different places to eat. Rox and I are finding trying to find stuff that's healthier to eat, and it's a ways away sometimes.
Well, you're in pork country, man. There's no way you're going to find anything healthy to eat in Ohio.
Well, I mean, no, I'm not talking about, organic or orgasmic or any other that kind of food. But looking for things that we're looking for some hidden gems in the area, and
Okay.
sometimes you got to go a little ways to get there. And by the time I get off the air at 7 o'clock, it's like
It's way too late because you'll end up
yeah, because you got to
Yeah.
go X amount of, if you got to drive
way too late.
40 minutes in one direction, you've just blown an hour and a half, and it's already 8:30, and you really haven't eaten anything. So that's it.
Last time I was in Cleveland, which is a few years ago now, about 5 years, there was a really good restaurant on 21, in between Independence and Brecksville.
Mr.
A
Hero.
lot of posh people there. And I can't
I'm not
remember the
interested in
name of
posh
it.
people. I mean,
Well, I mean, people of your wealth and means,
I have no
probably-
wealth
probably
and I have no
frequent there.
means. And I have no reason for being. The fact is, I'm one of these people who loves to go to down home, mom and pop kind of places.
Yeah, well, some of those are absolute shit. Let me tell you.
The thing is, you got to find the places that are famous for certain things. But
Yeah.
I'm a real supporter of local businesses, and I went all the way out to get a bunch of meats in my freezer. And way out. I mean, I don't know that anyone knows where Marshallville even is. But yeah, look at Hammer. He looks totally confused.
That sounds like
Marshallville?
shocked in New Philadelphia down there.
I'm just figuring
somewhere.
you just talked to some relatives, some other cows, and said, "Hey, where the good guys hang out."
Well, I mean, the problem is that you have a choice. You can go into Amish country, which is really far, or you can try to find places. There are two places that are really good meat places. Dumas is one of them, and that's Akron way. And then there's the Marshallville Meat Packing Company that really handles a lot of the beef product and the pork product and the chicken product from more of the west side. Dumas would be a little bit more of the east side. And, local businesses, to me, still, regardless of what we are seeing in the country, are pivotally important to me, and I like to be able to support them. Same thing with restaurants. I mean, I'm not going to go to a fucking Cracker Barrel. I mean, let's get real. I'm going to go to local places. And yes, sometimes some are better than others. I'll be the first to tell you. I mean, we were actually in Barberton at an Italian restaurant in Barberton, and but it's a local place. I'm not going to name it because by going, then they'll complain.
Yeah,
but they'll never see it.
Yeah, never name these people. My father used to drive down to Worcester, and there was some Greek restaurant in the middle of town that he loved their spaghetti for some reason. But it's my dad, so I wouldn't take too many tips on food from him. But yeah, there's loads of places in that sort of Akron, Worcester, Canton triangle.
Yeah, I mean, and going down to my hometown area, I did eat one meal at the Gervis Brown Derby. I had to. I
That's
cannibalized.
It's still, that was my thought. It's still there.
In Belden Village, it's there. Back when I was young, it was on the corner of Whipple and Tusk.
That's where you took. That's where you wore your ruffled shirt, and you took your prom date to the fucking.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something. In Belden Village, they served a very nice meal, so I was surprised that they were still there, and it was like, I gotta go there for old time's sake.
Were you the youngest person in the building? That was the next question.
Probably.
I'm not sure anybody calls me the youngest person in the building anymore. Hammer time. I don't think so. But yeah, the other funny thing is going to. We found a really, really nice all you can eat sushi place up in Fairlawn. And that's like my kind of thing. And that's I will name them by name, Kintaro. They're a good, solid spot. They're up in Fairlawn. And trying to find things of that nature. But the thing that's funny is there were no Chinese buffets, Indian buffets, no buffets in Florida. they all went out of business. But there's buffets up here in Ohio, and it's like, don't they care?
How do you keep this kind of physique? I mean, you have to have buffets. It's not like, I mean, you just don't keep this just going,
You have
spending the
you have
regular
to keep
buck.
your weight up.
Yeah,
No, but I'll tell you that I have never. We went to one. It was just a big old Chinese buffet, and I have never seen more morbidly obese people in my life. I mean, it was like I really felt at home.
How fat were they?
Oh God Almighty! When they sat around the room, they sat around the room.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's a matter. I ran into in Akron a deli owned by a Greek family, and they were selling pastrami and corned beef and doing Reuben sandwiches on rye and all kinds of things like that. I can't even eat that food, okay, because I have certain digestive issues. So what I can eat is kind of limited. Going to an Italian restaurant like we did last night, I ended up having to eat a piece of salmon that made my personality more mercurial. Wait a minute. That's something in my eye. So
Ohio isn't where I would go to eat salmon anyway. Just
no. It's not the seafood capital of America.
Well, no, maybe for lake bass, like freshwater fish,
walleye,
what I'm concerned about. Yeah, everything's breaded, and
perch.
I'm a non-gluten person, and it makes life very difficult for me. Now, Romeo's Pizza, I found out Romeo's Pizza here in Ohio has a gluten-free pizza that was marginally believable. Okay.
Wow.
Marginally believable. But when you're going gluten-free, I'm wondering if I could get away because it's like roasted chicken is the thing,
Yeah. Every gas station
you know what you have to do?
Have that.
What?
I was looking up there's a couple of things you have to do now that you're in Ohio. You got to go to the Bucyrus Bratwurst Festival, which is coming up in August. That's a must. And you're not that far.
Went to.
Yeah, that's not that far away from that's.
There's not a bunch of guys pulling out their Braunschweigers, are there?
Well, yeah, just try to pretend you're not Jewish when you go there.
It's like a sausage fest. I don't know.
Sausage.
Hey.
A literal sausage fest.
And then the other thing is obviously you gotta go to the Vermilion Woolly Bear Festival with our with everybody from Fox 8 will be there and that's in like October, November. You gotta go to the Woolly Bear Festival.
All right, and they roast those over an open fire, right?
That's right.
just making sure that I have the nomenclature down correctly.
It's a huge thing. It's a massive thing. You gotta go. You gotta do that once in your life. Otherwise, you're not an Ohio person if you don't do that.
Yeah. So, and I was amazed to see that Landing's Restaurant is still in Bath. It's still open. That was the place you took your date to impress the hell out of your date in Canton. You took them to Bath. Okay.
It's the Peninsula Inn, still in Peninsula. That's the other place you could go.
Oh, really?
To.
Really?
Is it? I don't know if it's still there.
Now, for me, that was the fancy place to go if you're going to the Coliseum. That was like
yes,
yeah.
And then I'll tell you the other one, which is long gone and has been LeBron James' eyes, was the old Tangier restaurant. I don't know if you remember Tangier.
Yeah, I do. Tangiers.
That was the other place you'd bring a date and for prom. That place was huge. Yeah, so it's amazing how things change over time. But
I don't think Peninsula's there anymore. I'm looking it up now.
Well, there's an Amish buffet that's it's like a little bit. It's east of Worcester. It's like between Worcester and Canton, off of 30.
Yeah, I think my dad's been there too.
The Amish Door Restaurant. I know.
Is that in Dalton? Is that
it's near Dalton? It's near Dalton.
All right. I was looking through things because
It's
I
close to
wanted
Delton.
Rocks to go to an Amish buffet, but I didn't know which one was the best
Or
one.
you could go down to Der Dutchman. I don't know if they have a buffet anymore, but they did. But this
Mrs.
place was
Yoder's is
this
another
place.
one.
Yeah, this place was just like
No,
it was
I'm not
kinda
kidding. That really
low-key.
is a
No,
forget
it really
Yeah,
is a
that really
place.
is her
Yeah,
name.
it really is a place. Der Dutchman is awesome. It's right there, right down 71, coming my way.
Yeah.
But they have one here outside in Plain City, out
Now,
on
I
the
thought that
west
there
side of
used
town.
to be a Der Dutchman around Bolivar back when I was young.
Yeah, well, there's one. It's right off the freeway. There's one. It's right at the one of the what I want to
Rest
say
areas.
the Mansfield exits or whatever.
Yeah, it's
So
like Fredericton, Mount Gilead, all that.
yep,
Mid
Yeah.
Ohio, Lexington.
yes,
So is the place in Dalton any good?
yeah, it was good when we went there. Now, keep in mind this is pre-COVID. I haven't been there for a while, but we stopped there doing a volleyball tournament.
Well, Mrs. Yoder
myself and a
died
couple
of COVID.
friends. So
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm sure there were some Mrs. Yoders who died of COVID. So, but yeah, this
Definitely.
place, I know it took them a while to go. Obviously, the desserts were the killer, because they had pies and cobblers, all kinds of glutenish things.
Yeah,
there,
things that
like,
I
yeah,
can't eat. That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Amish
yeah,
cooking is notoriously not like spicy, and they're not. So some of that, if they just do a regular chicken kind of thing,
Yeah, it's kind of. I would rate it below par from traditional English food myself, but that's just mine.
Wow.
yeah, it's bland. El
It is
blando.
fucking bland.
Yeah, it is. I'll be the first one to. But so is their clothing, their vehicles, and their way of life. But look, it works.
They're still
for
alive.
them.
They're still there. They're not dead.
It works for them, and it really is kind of nostalgic going into Amish country. They also have some wonderful farms there and great produce. I'm finding I found a really nice produce stand out. Gosh, when I was doing this one day, and I just decided, all right, we've done the east side and going all out to Talmadge and going, and I haven't even gone up too far. Like I was in Hudson, and Streetsboro, but it was all a matter of
area.
Yeah. And then I want to do the West, and it was like, well, what is there out there? And there's not a hell of a lot, but it was interesting going to Rittman. I found Bauman's Orchards, which we're going to bring Amsterdam into the stream. Hey, Am.
Yo, what's up? What are you guys doing?
I think you're going to have to bail that.
No. Let's watch it for a while. This person is obviously... this does nothing for me, but if it does something for the person,
that's great.
Pretty amazing. Well, that took my appetite away from me. So I can say that.
I'm thinking of a nice rump roast right now. It's kind of coming to mind.
Yeah, you need to go west to north, I think, Moo. Like, there's places like in Oberlin and up around there,
Well, also, if you get up to the Lorraine, like that area, you got all the Hispanic folks, because there's a lot of really good stuff up there.
That's good tip. You got to know where you're going. If you're going a certain distance, you got to know where you're going, and so that's kind of the deal. I hope that I have all kinds of opportunities to go all over the place, but right now we're in a kind of pick and choose mode because we're predominantly emptying boxes and having workers fix things that aren't correct, and we're housebound, so getting out can sometimes be a lot of fun. But for me, finding an honest to God, an orchard that grows, apples and peaches and that kind of thing. And that's really the advantage of going way west out into the country, is that you'll get a certain type of thing that you're not really going to get in the more metropolitan area. So a lot of fun. And
Oh, that does sound like some fun.
Yeah, and I haven't heard from Brian. Honestly, it's
No.
been so long. Has Amsterdam's bringing up his name in the chat? Um, I don't. I
Wow.
haven't communicated with him, and I hope everything's all right with him. But I don't think he's doing much broadcasting at this point. I don't know, but I hope he's okay.
Wow.
No
It
hard
isn't
feelings.
football season, so it is what it is.
But at any rate, going back to
Oh, is there
Amani,
still sports to talk about? I mean,
no,
this is
Imani
more
Bates.
interesting talk about food.
He's a guy who, he's doing the fadeaway. One time he's over here, one time he's back over here. He's really got to get his mechanics down. What I tell everybody is that when LeBron James was 18 years old
Yeah.
and he came in to the league, and he wasn't squaring his shoulders, and he was getting his shots off, but he was only like a 42% field goal shooter. And they said,
Yeah.
this guy's never going to be as great as Michael Jordan because he's never going to shoot 50% in the season. And of course, he just blew that out of the water.
Yeah,
But you take a look at LeBron's shot now compared. I mean, go back to the first games. If you can get the piece of missing footage from the Sacramento game, the first game he ever played, and you saw this physical talent, but the shooting from the perimeter needed work. Bates is the same way, but he's not built like LeBron was. He's very, very lean and sparse, and it's going to get pushed around. He's going to spend more time in Canton than anywhere else, and which is good because he's not ready for the big dance, not by a long shot.
He's going to get playing time in Canton. That's the advantage of that. He gets a chance to work on his game and get to the next level. And then when they do need him, it's not a long trip to grab somebody and go, hey, come on, let's get you put you on a 10-day or whatever.
Well, the problem that I see with all, developmental league kind of stuff is the players just, for a lack of a better word, they're just shoot happy. I mean, everything that happens in the G League is up and down shoot and low percentage, and everyone's trying to shine. And honestly, you look at a guy like Sharif Cooper. There's a guy who's 3 years now in the G League, and he's small. He can score the basketball, but nobody's come running after him in the NBA. And from my perspective, there's lots of guys. I mean, take a look at Isaiah Mobley, and he's the third guy and who's the two-way player. And he's had a few nice summer league games, but that's against summer league competition. He doesn't have the burst. He's not a great three-point shooter. He doesn't have the hops. It's really going to be difficult for that player to find his way into a rotation at the NBA level. Bates, you take at 49 because you pray to the baby Jesus that somehow he gets his head screwed on straight and somebody can work with him on his mechanics. You take Mobley because he's Evan's brother. I mean, until he proves anything else. Sam Merrill is another guy who, I mean, he can put up points in the G League, but Steve Kerr would not be an efficient basketball player in today's NBA because he would be too damn slow. Yeah. And that's Sam Merrill. He's not going to be, he can't get his own shot. And it's imperative to beat people off the dribble and to get separation. So, really, Craig Porter Jr. is the one guy I see who, because of circumstances in Cleveland, might have an opportunity to get a look-see at the big time. Plus, he's 23. He is a more mature guy who's played a full 4 years of college basketball. He may have played 5 because I know he started out in a JUCO situation. So I think 2 JUCO seasons where they won national championships, and then 3 seasons at Wichita State, I believe, redshirted. And now he's 23 years old, so he has less time. But
was there a thing with these kids that they had an extra year of eligibility because of COVID, as like the football guys did?
Yeah, they did. Everybody did. So across multiple sports. So they
Alright,
all
'cause
got an opportunity for a COVID year. But certain sports, if you're not basketball, if you're one of the elite athletes, your path to the pros is rather quick. Football, you're locked into, you have to play a certain number of years before you can go. But basketball, obviously, we have the one and dones. So you didn't have quite as many people taking advantage. But some of the teams that were real successful last year did that. And they had some fifth year players that were, playing a little longer or whatever. One thing, Moo, that I actually watched some of the Bulls game, and the announcers were talking about the big difference between the Cavs and the Bulls was exactly what you were talking about, the G League mentality of fire it up, not playing as a team. And they said the Cavs really did play as a team. They did things. They moved the ball. They created shots for each other rather than just trying to, shine and do the, trying to do things. They said they were more of a team aspect, which, I don't know if that makes a difference. How locked up are these guys on contracts? Are they locked into the G League teams, or are they available for other people to pick up?
Yeah, well, they're available. I mean, somebody like Sharif Cooper, who's put up 20 plus a game, could be taken anywhere. If you have the two-way guys and they're the untouchables, and then you have the rest of the guys, and if somebody says, "Hey, we need a point guard, who can score," then Sharif Cooper could get a look-see from any one of the teams in the league. There's no great ownership. Just because you're in Canton doesn't mean you're going directly to Cleveland. You're going to go wherever you can, and it's a look-see league. I was looking at, when I started looking at Craig Porter Jr. and said, here's a guy who came out of Wichita State, and I know Wichita State has, and not too distant past, had some successful basketball teams. Back when I forget the coach's name before he moved on, but I just don't remember the guy's name. But they really did a good job getting into the postseason. A guy who I would say would have been similar coming out of college would have been Marcus Smart, and he came out of Oklahoma State. And he actually joined the Boston Celtics through back in 2014, the Maine Celtics. And so he was playing developmental ball, and a 6'3" guard. He came in at 2014, 2015, and he did play 27 minutes a game. And he averages 7 points a game, shot 36%. And throughout his career, as known a player as he is, he's never shot better than 36% from three. And in most of his years was at 33% from the 3-point line. But he's another one of those players who made big shots, played defense. He could chest up players. 6'3", but he has a 6'9" wingspan. And I'm not going to tell you that Marcus Smart was a star, but he hung around the Celtics for 9 years. He's with the Grizz now, and he's had a long career. So that's the kind of path that Craig Porter Jr. is going to have to follow if he's going to have any kind of a meaningful career.
Yeah, the guy at Wichita State was Greg Marshall, and he was there a long time until multiple allegations of verbal and physical abuse.
Yeah, I remember that. He didn't look like that kind of guy, but they never do.
Yeah, look at Bronk over there. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah. Well, uh, so baseball's starting up again, and I have to
Oh
say
God, make
something.
it stop again.
I mean, at 45 and 45, the Guardians are not setting the world on fire, and you know, there's a lot of things that they have to overcome, and the right on top of the pile is like Shane Bieber kind of fading before our eyes. Is he fading because at 28 we've pitched him too many innings, or is he just tired of going out on the mound and not getting run support? I don't know. But maybe he could be resurrected at 28 without a problem on another team, that we could get some meaningful power into this lineup. But, we're stuck in this. It's almost like, I don't know how to put it. We're
Purgatory.
yeah, we are stuck with players we keep giving second and third chances to. Everyone's saying, well, we got to bring Oscar Gonzalez up. And Oscar Gonzalez last year was a long shot who made good. He started out the year hitting 163, and they had to send him down. And he started out at Columbus not hitting, and he started hitting again. But the league is very smart. They chart everything. And if you have a weak spot, and if going up in the zone or down and away, whatever it is, and you're a pull hitter and you're trying to pull things that are down and away, you're going to strike out a lot or just hit weak ground balls to the right side of the infield. But the thing I don't like is they're, saying bring up Oscar Gonzalez and platoon him with Will Brennan. Well, the thing about that is that this is the first year that Will Brennan has really had trouble hitting left-handed pitchers in all of his career in the minor leagues, and he's really been atrocious against left-handed pitching. But he's still hitting 276 for the season. Started out slow, but he's been hitting 300 the last 2 months. And I really, and I don't see that Oscar Gonzalez is a big power guy. In fact, they're telling him they don't want him to hit a lot of home runs because he'll just overstride and strike out more. We got to bring back James Karinchak. I was asking about him the other day. Yeah, in Columbus, since being optioned, 8 games, struck out 15, walked 5, and allowed 3 hits in 8 innings. The question is whether Karinchak can throw strikes, and that's all part of that wacky windup thing. And we are saying we need Cal Quantrill, but Cal Quantrill's not the same guy. He's hurt, and we rushed him back once. We can't rush him back a second time. And then we're back to saying, well, the only way we can be contenders in any way, shape, or form to win this division is through pitching, not through hitting. Then we've got Tristan McKenzie and Quantrill on the injured list. Bieber and Savali are the only guys with real experience. Tanner Bybee has been good. Gavin Williams has been good. Logan Allen's going to get another shot, as he was kind of treated a little bit roughly. And he started losing confidence in his ability to finish hitters at the big league level. But below them are Hunter Gaddis and Peyton Battenfield. And Love is not a Battenfield. I can tell you that.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
That sounds like some minor royal of the royal family over here. Peyton Battenfield and his
Hello,
wife,
my name's
Catherine.
Peyton Battenfield. But he's on the injured list as well.
You got to do Peter Alice saying his name.
Look who's on the injured list now. It's Peyton Battenfield. and Zach Plesac might as well be on the injured list because he flat out sucks now. And I don't know what happened.
His ERA in AAA has even expanded. It's like he can't get anybody out. I think he needs a sports psychologist or something.
Well, he's pestanoing.
Vinny Pestano.
I mean, he's you talk about who was it, the shorts or second baseman or shortstop that couldn't make the throw to first.
Chuck Knobloch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's almost got to that point where he just can't get a single soul out, and he's got goods, he got as things, but he just can't get people out. It's just it's crazy how quick he
What
fell.
mental blocks come in many shapes and sizes, and yeah, he looked like everybody knew what he was going to throw before he threw it. That's what he looked like, and it's not gotten any better at AAA. And the other thing is that there's no way that Josh Naylor is going to hit 305 in the back half of the season and get another 60 runs batted in. And the other problem is with the weight he carries, there's a good chance he's going to have a leg injury. So he's been our best hitter. So there's just no way he's going to continue the pace that he's at. If you're wondering, the Guardians are averaging 21,888 fans per game.
That's more than I thought there would be, actually, to be
Well,
fair.
and if that holds true for the remaining 36 games in Cleveland, the Guardians would draw 1.8 million fans, which is way more than they deserve to draw. But
Well, it's all guys. It's all white guys over 55 bringing their grandkids along now. That's what the hell the crowd is. Yeah, old grandpa bringing the little kids along.
and grabbing his balls? Yeah.
Well,
But
they did that big change out there to kind of create the bar area, and they've
Oh
been
yeah, the
trying to.
happening bar area.
I mean, no, but I mean, they
for
have deals.
alcoholics, yeah.
They have deals. Prior to the game, they have the cheap drinks, and you can get in there and kind of get in and have a nice little time. I will tell you though that Brave series was amazing for them, as they sold the joint out the first night. Now I don't know if that's because it was the Braves who were there,
sure.
and they don't come, or also it was Hawaiian shirt night, where they gave away
I
Hawaiian
would have
shirts
gone.
to everybody.
We would have gone to
Exactly.
that, Hammer.
You and I have been there.
We would have been there.
I tried to go for the.
I have
Cubs
too
last
much
year.
pride for that. Way too
We-
much pride for that.
Hammer and I used to wear Salvation Army bowling
Bowling
shirts
shirts.
out in public that had other people's names. Like some dead husband's bowling shirt gets donated to the Salvation Army, and me and Hammer were out. Well, we'd be out there in public wearing it. We'd call each other like, "Hey, Chuck, how's it going?"
You know what's really funny? Every sport has a name that I remember. All right.
Okay.
All right. So if it was Chris Schenkel doing the Professional Bowlers
Tour,
Association,
yes. PBA.
Yep.
Live
and
from Firestone Lanes.
Everybody remembers like Walter Ray Williams, because that guy, his name, he sounded like he was a serial killer. I mean,
he did. He probably was. John Wayne Gacy, he was a serial killer.
And then you had the guy who was the guy who pumped his he was left-hander, Earl Anthony.
Earl Anthony,
Earl Anthony, exactly.
You got sort of like the Earl Anthony haircut going on there.
But I go old school, and it's like, and here comes Carmen Salvino. And it's like, that's the name that hangs with me, yeah, bowling.
Sounds like a character on The Sopranos.
Yeah, Carmen Salvino. Yeah.
Hey, you'll go get Carmen Salvino. He'll take care of it for you.
But it's amazing that the Indians back in the 90s drew over 3 million fans for 6 straight years. So that puts that number of 1.8 million in some kind of context. The other one is for the people attending the stadium who like the drinking there. Here's a suggestion. You can go Arthur on them and go, fuck Josh Bell. Josh Bell has been zippity doo-dah, man. Another one of these guys. Josh Bell might as well be Carlos Santana. I mean, it's no different.
Don't besmirch Carlos Santana's name like that. Josh has been he's been horseshit this year. Jeez.
Well, he's done, and you keep going after power hitters in the hope that they're going to have this one season that they're going to become themselves, their old selves again, and it never works. It never works out.
Oh, here's some great names from the Pro Bowlers tour from back in our era. Like Dave Sutar,
Oh yeah,
Dick Ritker, Wayne Zahn,
Dick Ritker sounds like a porn name. Go ahead.
Don Carter or Dan Carter, the guy with the bowling ball. Yeah, there's some awesome names here. Oh, let's get some more.
Oh, it's amazing. One of the things I've been doing, I'm watching a 24/7 Mike Tyson channel. Now,
Ooh.
and
give me the hook up on that. I do love me some Mike Tyson.
Oh, we love some Trevor Burbick.
I mean, everything that you could possibly want to know, and it's like there's how many fights did he have? I mean, and some of them were just such pathetic fights early on, where the fights ended very quickly, or he had no business being in the ring in the end. But it's like, I just want to say that I never touched that woman in the hotel room. I never did that. It gets into every aspect of his life,
Wow.
and it's like him sobbing, talking about Customato. I miss him. I miss him so much. And it's like, get this off. And I don't want 24/7 Tyson, because it makes me want to take antidepressants. It's not what I want.
Nelson Burton Jr.
Nelson Burton Jr.
You got to get Tommy Heinsohn to say that name, because that's a great sort of Tommy Heinsohn sounding name.
Yeah. And Nelson Burton Jr. Oh God, I forgot about him. He was a guy who would be with Chris Schenkel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
As an announcer later on. Between
Earl
that
Anthony.
and the other one. Well, if you watched ABC Wide World of Sports, and you ended up with Chris Economaki in the pits.
Oh,
yeah, you're NASCAR racing, right?
Oh,
people going around in a big fucking oval, right? And
hey, there is a big NASCAR story. I don't know if you heard about this. Le Mans, 24 Hours Le Mans has a big deal where they bring in it's called Garage 56 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
And what they did was they brought in a modified NASCAR vehicle and to Le Mans. You have to look it up for one of the next things when it kind of gets to the dead period. But it really performed fairly well for most of the race. And Jimmy Johnson and Hendricks, the motorsports crew, I guess they were involved with it. So,
do you know that since I have been back in Northeast Ohio, I have seen 3 drive-in movie places?
Good God. Wow.
There's 2 down here. There's one in the South Side and one in Lancaster as well. So
I didn't know that those places still existed. The one place is awesome. $25 a car. You jam as many people into the car, it's movie night. Yeah, 25.
Grandma, you sit on the top.
Yeah. Hey, Ellie Mae. $25 a car. You gotta love it. Yeah. Marshall Holman, very good. Rick May. Yeah. Very good. I mean, that's yeah.
Oh. Don Johnson, another great name from there. And Miami Vice.
Isn't that right, Rico? Oh, wrong Don Johnson. I'm sorry.
Don Johnson.
Wrong one. So at any rate, one more thing before I get out of here.
Yeah, you got to leave before the other show would have started, so that freaks the other fuckers out. That what do you mean you already did the show?
What the hell? But it's all recorded. It's all recorded, so if anybody wants to come see it, they know where to come see it.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to talk really about Browns at this point in time. It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes on YouTube TV. It's for those people who don't know and are living in a cave. That's where you got to spend your money to get the NFL Sunday ticket. It's now on YouTube TV, and you can end up hating YouTube as much as you hated DirecTV because it's going to be the same shit. It's $400.
Wow.
Unless you get like, YouTube TV subscription too, and they'll give you a little discount on it. It's like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it's different here. There's a app called Dazn, DAZN.
Oh,
The
yeah.
zone.
That's the
Yeah.
zone or whatever.
That's what they. Yeah.
That's what
They
it's
do a
on
lot of
now
boxing
this year.
pay-per-view on DAZ.
Yeah.
They did. That was their big thing. That and football, soccer for us American.
Yeah, well,
folks,
that's the people who are doing it in the United Kingdom and Europe, I believe. So they used to have their own league pass here, and now I've had to download a new app and fuck around with that and log on to that. So that's my life. But yeah, it's on that now.
Yeah,
Dickie V's not well. Yeah, you got to talk about Dickie V.
Oh no! I mean, I read about that vocal cord cancer. It's the fact that he lives in the general neighborhood I live in Florida. The guy's just had a real rough go of it. A real rough go of it, and they just found that they found cancer in his vocal cords, and I don't know how early they caught it. I hope it's early, because if it is, there's a good chance that he would survive that if they caught it early. But it makes you wonder where else it's hiding in his body. It's just a real shitty way to go. What I was going to, I was reading about Deshaun Watson and how national media is snubbing him because he's in Cleveland, and because he's black, and nobody bothered him when he was in Texas, but when he comes to Cleveland, he suddenly is, not at all good. Pro Football Network rated him 26th out of 32 quarterbacks. Now that can't fucking be. That cannot fucking be, and it's like,
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, and to make matters worse, NFL.com ranked him 28th out of 32.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, absolutely nuts. But the story I wanted to end the show with is why the Browns are the Browns.
Okay.
Back in 2017, they could have had him at 12.
Correct.
Could have had him at, you had me at hello. Could have had him at 12. What did we do? We traded down to 25.
Yep.
And handed that over to the Texans. But before the draft, Watson got a text from the Browns telling him to be ready because anything can happen.
It did.
The problem was the text came from Hugh Jackson, the biggest liar in the NFL. Sashi Brown had absolutely no intention of ever taking Deshaun Watson.
Well,
and of course, what happened?
There was a lot of talk is he's going to be too small. He's going to be kind of the same kind of things that happen with what's his name in Arizona. He's going to be too small. He's going to get broken half. He's not a durable guy. There was all kinds of questions, but the fact remains he was there.
Yeah, the second we walk on somebody like that,
and who we drafted?
Deshaun Kaiser in the second fucking round.
In the first round, we drafted the wonderful guy from Michigan, Jabril Peppers,
right?
That's what we got with the Houston pick.
Well, but the following year we got the first
line too.
We got the first round pick. We got Denzel Ward the following year. But be that as it may, it's in the second round, it's like, no, we're going to hold off and get Deshaun Kaiser. It's like, make it stop.
Oh,
But
so
to me,
wrong.
that's just like the greatest thing in the world. Getting a text from Hugh Jackson, it's like, yeah, that's the ticket. It's like fucking liar. The guy
Oh,
couldn't tell the truth.
what a great draft. You got to go back and just look at this draft. I mean, the people that were in it. A lot. The second round is amazing too. There's Juju Smith-Schuster and a lot of Dalvin Tomlinson was drafted right after Deshaun Kaiser. Joe Mixon, second round. So
Are you ready for
yeah.
this? Here are the names of a few quarterbacks that Pro Football Network rated above Deshaun
Oh,
Watson.
for
Now,
it.
I mean, look, this is ridiculous. Daniel Jones,
Woo!
Justin Fields,
Ugh,
Jared Goff,
no.
Jacoby Brissett, honest to God, Kenny fucking Pickett,
Pickett. KFP.
Mac, I can't run Jones, Brock,
Wow.
one hit wonder Purdy, Jordan, I don't play love, and Desmond Ritter, who played at the University of Cincinnati.
Wow.
I mean, this is just blatant hate, just hating.
Always been a John Ritter and Kristen Ritter fan, but Desmond Ritter not as much.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even know if he wasn't a
Suzanne
Bearcat.
Summer.
So, I'm not ready to say anything about the Browns at this point. It's coming up, man. The Hall of Fame game's coming up. And
It is.
it
3
is right
weeks.
around the corner, basically. And when do they start official camp and start hitting each other so they can carry off our guys with knee injuries? When's that happen?
I don't know. Ask
I think it's
Charles Bentley.
I think it's next week, and because
Yeah.
the Browns can start their camp early.
Oh, great!
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, we
They get to start.
cripple
they get
them
to start
early.
a little
My
bit early.
knee, my knee.
I know they have it. Definitely, there's tickets available starting August 1st, but I'm pretty sure that they actually start.
they
a little
have to.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
but
look it
yeah.
up.
Because that was a big thing about trying to get tickets for it and whatever. Because so yeah, it says Tuesday, August 1st, and different stuff, but I don't know.
Hey, Mark Lewis, how's it going with you? I want to know, he says, what you think the Browns' record will be after the first 5 games this upcoming season. It seems to me they have a bye in week 5. Is that right? They're playing the 4 games, and then they have an early bye. And that's just like an invitation for injuries. What do I think they'll be after the first 5? And we've got the load up in our own division. I would say 2-3.
Well,
and they'll be screaming. The fans will be screaming, and they're gonna try to send Deshaun Watson out to a plantation somewhere, and get him whipped. I have no idea. The Browns have so many issues, and quarterback is just one. And I know how big a thing it is, but you got to have wide receivers. You got to have a scheme. And if the same shit happens all over all over again, where we just are running a 15-yard from line of scrimmage offense and just jamming the field and not stretching the field, it's going to be ugly. And if we can get to 2-3, or I mean, if we were 3-2 after 5 games, I would say ultimate victory for the Browns. All right. But we haven't seen fast starts, and it would be hard for me to believe that we're going to see a fast start this year.
The thing is, we're playing 3 out of the 4 are in our division. We're playing all 3 of our division people.
That's right.
In the first 4 games. So we'll know pretty quickly whether we're absolute shit or whether we actually have a chance of carrying
Doing
on
something, yeah.
and caring
Yeah.
about it in October.
July 22nd through the 30th, they're going to the Greenbrier in West Virginia.
Oh, that's right.
They're closed to the public. I knew it's always like
Yep.
right around my birthday because my birthday is the 22nd. So,
Do you know what
yeah,
the Greenbrier was?
I think an
Isn't that the-
alcohol treatment plan or something.
That's not the one. It was some kind of government place. Is that the one?
It sure was. That was when FDR was president. In case of a nuclear attack, and all the way, that was where the president of the United States would get moved in the case of a major military disaster.
Oh,
So yeah, it was.
that's good for the Browns then.
I mean, if it was good enough for nuclear holocaust, it's good enough for the Cleveland Browns. But the Greenbrier is a
it's
really
got a pool and a pond, right?
a pool and a pond.
That'd be good for
It's
me.
got
man,
that
Paul.
going for it.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, it's a nice resort. I've actually driven through the area, and I think it's like White Sulphur Springs or some such area in West Virginia.
Do they have like Jewish comedians that show up there too? Or
Yeah, Shecky Green.
Shecky Green.
Yeah. So at any rate, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, we're coming up to the top of the hour, so we got to leave before the regular show would start. So
I want to thank everybody for showing up, including balloons up my ass guy. Thank you for that. I appreciate that tremendously. And Bronk and Hammer Time
clips,
I know it's you know what the sad part is? That guy searches and has like 5,000 of them.
Wow.
I mean, it's like not real well. Hammer Time, thanks again as always. And Bronk, thank you, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And we're gonna do the best we can to get back to you on Monday.
A quick Dick Goddard update from Dick Goddard before you go. You gotta do it.
I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and there's about a 72% chance of precipitation. And today was a beautiful day in northeastern Ohio, with highs in about 81 degrees, depending on where you were standing, and beautiful weather. And we've had a lot of beautiful weather here. Thank God the tornado season hasn't hit yet, because it will rip the roof right off of your home, and it will kill members of your family.
Thanks, Dick.
Yeah. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you Monday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
All right.
Ooh.
Bye.